morning, children, and welcome once again to e-learning classes on behalf of Modern English School. I myself, Anjana Dikshit from New Area Senior Learner. Children, this video is for class 7. And today we will read lesson 4, The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom. Now children, this story is about a person who is very good. You should know one thing, that kind and noble person are always rewarded by God, and wicked persons are always punished. So this story is about wicked person and a kind person. Here there was a man who was very kind, and he kept his pet, a dog, and he treated him like his own child because he wasn't having any child of his own. He fed him with his own hands, and he was so kind that he never killed any creature. Even while walking, whenever any ant also came in his way, he went sidewise. He never wanted to kill anybody or harm anybody. He was such a nice person. But his neighbor was very wicked. He always was jealous of this. One day, when the man went to his farm, he was digging. Suddenly, his dog, who always followed him, came to him, and he started pulling him, and the man went with him. He went near a tree and started scratching the ground. The man thought that there might be bone or meat, something hidden inside the earth, so he digged the earth. But what a surprise! There was a pile of gold under the earth. The man took the gold to his home, and then he gave a party, a feast in the village. He started to run a business, and he fed poor people. He distributed money among the poor, and for himself he started a new business. His neighbor, who was very wicked, saw this. They also dragged the dog to their home. Whenever any dog came to his house or in front of his gate, they would always beat the dog or any creature. But today, as they were too greedy, they called the dog or dragged the dog to their house. They also fed them. They wanted that the dog should tell them the treasure which was hidden under the tree, because the dog had told to his master. The dog was very afraid. It didn't eat anything. They started beating him. What to do? The dog took them by the side of the garden and started scratching it. They started shouting in joy. They thought, now we have got the treasure. Then they digged, but what was under the earth? There was a cat, dead cat, and it smelled very badly. In anger, the neighbors killed the dog, and they dug a pit and hid the dog under the pit. That night, the dog came in the dream of the man. The noble man and his wife were very sad. They cried for the whole day. Then the dog came in their dream and said, "Don't cry." The spirit of the dog came in their dream and told, "Don't cry. Cut a pine tree and make a powder for his rice pastry and a mill for his beans sauce. The next morning, the old man got up. He did the same as the dog said. Now, his all wishes made his life very comfortable. When he put the boiled rice inside and started the beat, there was a surprise. There were many gold coins inside that. His days turned, they became rich, but he was never proud. He always helped others. His neighbor, who also saw this, told the kind man to borrow him the mill. The old man gave it. When they did the same thing, there were worms coming from the mill. In an anger, they cut the mill and burned them. Now again, the kind man was sad. The spirit of the dog again came into their dream and said, "Don't worry. Take the ashes of that, and when you sprinkle those ashes on the dead plants or on the plants which do not give any fruit or flowers, they'll start blooming, they will give fruits." The old man took the ashes and sprinkled on the flowers or on the trees. The trees were full of fruits. Now one day, their neighbor also thought the same thing. One day the king was coming from that side. The kind man went up on a tree. In those days, whenever the king came from the way, everyone used to kneel on their knees to welcome the king. This kind old man went up the tree, and when the king came, sprinkled a pinch of the ash. The whole environment was full of good fragments. Very nice smell came everywhere. The king was happy and rewarded the kind man. Now the wicked neighbor also thought the same. They also went up and climbed a tree. When the king went that way, they sprinkled a handful of ashes on him. The king started sneezing. He got angry and told his men to bring the wicked man down, and then they were punished. So the wicked neighbors had a sad ending, but the kind people were happy. That's all, children. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay home. Stay safe.